today is Sunday, meaning that a lot of people aren't working. Of course I am, but I decided that I'm gonna sit in front of this camera and just talk about info as simple as possible and just kind of go through what's in my head right now about where everything is going and also about what the best practices are now. So I think that right now, what I've been noticing is that it's a little bit harder to sign coaching clients than it was 6 or 7 months ago. Now, the reason for that, I think, is because people have had bad experiences with coaches. I'm not talking about courses, I'm talking about coaches, because courses have always had like this negative connotation around them. But as far as coaching, a lot of people have been investing with the wrong coaches, and then they'll have a bad experience. They'll either get no results, have to refund, have to charge back, whatever. And that experience will bleed into the good coaches. Now, this is fair. So what my team, like, I understand that. I understand that it's difficult to say that, okay, this guy's going to tell me what to do and it's going to make me successful. That's a difficult thing to believe. However, what truly is worth value, no matter what, no matter who it is, which is the shift that my team has basically gone to, is that expertise is great. However, infrastructure that works, infrastructure that has scaled businesses before, and actually installing systems and procedures into businesses is now what's much more valuable than just coaching, right? You could be the #1 coach in the world and people would still want more than just a done with you coach. People like the accountability stuff, they do, they like the community aspects, they like the information. However, it's just not enough anymore. And if you want to have one of the top tier offers, you have to do all of that incredibly well, but you also have to install things that work, one, done for the client, and additionally, things that can just immediately be plug and played or instantly installed into the client's business. Now, when you can do that, it's not just a coaching offer. It's not just info. It's basically saying, hey, you can skip the step of building funnels. You can skip the step of writing emails. You can skip the step of doing X, Y, Z, pricing, how to do lead gen, how to train your team, how to hire someone, how to delegate, all this incredibly important things. And you can say, hey, here's the exact infrastructure that we use. Take advantage of it, and we're gonna show you exactly how to take advantage of it. Now, that kind of info is what is going to dominate the market for the next 1 to 2 years. Info always is quickly changing, right? 7 months ago, coaching was the best thing if you wanted to make a lot of money. Now I'm telling all my clients, you need obviously your coaching, but you also need done for you mechanisms inside of that coaching as well, because what that's gonna do is just innately raise the value of your offer. And what I'm seeing is that people don't understand this, right? So people who used to dominate the market in coaching, used to do like 200, 300K months, are now doing like 20, 50, really low months, just because they don't install anything other than having group calls or doing one-on-one calls. Now, I'm not saying like you can't run a successful coaching business that's over 200K per month. Like a ton of people do that. However, if you're starting out, that is not the move. You need to have an offer that is so good. And it's so funny because it always goes back to the basics of, if you have a good offer, it's easier to market. When it's easier to market, you get more clients. If the offer's good, the clients come in, you get them good results, and then it's way easier to market, and it just keeps going and keeps going, because the client results actually have to do with it being a good offer. If you have a great offer with no client results, people are going to think it's a mediocre offer. If you have a bad offer with great client results, people are going to think you have a great offer. If you have a great offer with great client results, people are going to think that you are the only option, and that's what you want. And a lot of people don't understand this as well, is that when you're in info, the people come to you because they think that there's this piece of information that they don't know, or there's this secret method that they don't know, where typically I've given away free SOPs, free courses, and all that stuff. These people who are stuck at 5K per month will read all of that, not implement any of it, and then still try to understand what they're missing. Now, what people really are looking for is a shortcut to success. So if you can actually do that, which is why I'm selling Sell Infrastructure, because that truly is a shortcut to success. It's not a get rich quick or anything, but it's literally just installing an infrastructure into a business that has worked before and will continue to work. That is when people are actually going to realize that buying a course isn't the solution, because you can get coaching, a course, everything, because people don't like to be accountable. People don't like to work hard. So if you can give them that shortcut and give them the information, doesn't matter if the information is shitty, they're gonna think it's amazing because it's helped them basically streamline that entire process of going from 0 to 5K per month, where they can go from 0 to 30 just because they know exactly what to do. But my point is that the mindset of anyone buying info is that they think that there's this piece of missing information that if they had, they'd be at 100K per month. And they think that these gurus have these secrets, but they don't. We don't have secrets. I'm not a guru, but people in my position, we don't have secrets. I mean, obviously we have system strategies and things that work really well for us. Could you find them on YouTube? Probably. What do we sell? We sell those exact systems, but just installable, right? That's what the good coaches do. But the disconnect, going back to my original point, is that people think that if they have that one piece of information that they don't know about, but they think they're missing, that they will be successful, and it's not true. It's because there's a reason why people will spend $8,000 for a course, go through the whole course, say it didn't work, and then go to the next course. Say that course didn't work, and then go to the next course, say that course didn't work. It's because information is not the problem. The problem is that that person thinks that they don't have to work for their success. So the way to take advantage of this in 2025, especially, what's today? Today's April 26, 2025, I believe. April 27th, 2025. The way to take advantage of this in the coming of the entire 2025 is to basically give people a shortcut, because then your offer is going to be so much better, and help people understand that, look, you are missing information, but if we give you the information, that's not what's going to solve the problem. If you're not doing this, your offer is going to fall behind. It's not going to be as good as my clients, mine, the top people in the industry, etc. So I would strongly encourage you to get off your ass, start building actual systems that are installable into people's businesses within a day, within a week, giving them to your clients, and then getting results. Because I promise you, that is where info is going. People have this disconnect, and that disconnect needs to be taken advantage of. I'll see you in the next video.